Happy Tuesday, everyone. We're one day closer to the weekend, so I hope everyone is having a good week thus far. So let's go ahead and get started. On the call today from STS, we have myself, Leanne Jones, the database manager for thoracic and congenital databases. We have Carol Crone, our senior clinical manager for the STS national databases. I believe, I'm not sure, I think Donna may be joining us. Donna McDonald, the Director of Quality for the STS databases, Jane Hahn, Associate Director of Quality. We also have Addie Dolan. Trying to see if we have any of our other STS colleagues. We have Dr. Wormuth on the call as well. For our IQVIA team, we have Melanie Bent, we have Joe Brower, we have Jean, we have, and also Rhonda. So additional team members. Thank you everyone for being on the call today. For today's agenda, I'll cover a couple of quick housekeeping items. I'll provide an STS harvest update. We'll provide an AQO update, and then I will turn things over to Melanie and her team for our IQVIA update, and then we will finish up with our Q&A portion of the webinar. Again, just a friendly reminder to please submit any questions via the Q&A. All right. For our housekeeping items, again, just a reminder that the August training manual was posted and has been updated and was posted out on the STS website. For those that have submitted FAQs, I know we've had several questions submitted this month. We do have a core group call this week to address your questions, so you can expect a response from me by the end of this week, if not sooner. So thank you for your patience, and we'll be getting those responses to you this week. Appendix C has been updated again, or was updated, I'm sorry, to include the stat scores for the new TOF repair and DORB repair procedures. That updated appendix was posted out on the STS website and is located in the version 341 data collection section under the additional resources heading. I've had a few people reach out to me and just wanting copies of the slides that they could share with their surgeons instead of the whole Appendix C. If you would like a copy of just those slides that includes the list of those updated stat scores, the last month's webinar, the last user group call with those slides is posted out on the STS website, so you can go out and download that PDF slide deck and share internally as needed. All right, as you are aware, when the new database platform launched, STS did not establish congenital heart surgery database harvest deadlines, as we felt it was important to provide our data managers with ample time to get used to the platform. On August 5th, STS did notify the congenital heart surgery database community. We notified data managers as well as your surgeons of the plan for the spring and fall 2020 harvest. So as you can see, the harvest submission deadline is set for Friday, October the 16th. We have the last day to opt out of the harvest is Tuesday, October the 20th. There will be one analysis one analysis produced for 2020. So this analysis will include the 4-year reporting period of 7/1/2016 through 6/30/2020. Again, we're just having one analysis done for 2020, and it will include the surgery dates of 7/1/16 through 6/30/2020. STS public reporting will resume in 2021, and that public reporting will include data from this combined 2020 harvest. Next, as you all are all aware, AQO is coming very soon. Our very first virtual AQO is being held September 29th through October the 2nd, with the congenital heart surgery database session being held on Friday, October the 2nd. STS did release some early bird pricing for registration this year, so we hope you guys do check out these prices and are able to join us. These early bird prices are good through Monday, September the 7th. So as you can see here, the Friday, October 2nd congenital session, our early bird pricing, if you are a member, is $75. After September 7th, the pricing would be $150 for members and $100 versus $100 for non-members, and then $200 for non-members after September 7th. If you would like to attend multi-day or all days, the early bird price for that is $150 for members, After September 7th, that goes up to $300. And then our early bird price for non-members for our multi-day or all days is $200. After September the 7th, that price does go up to $400. So we do hope you will please take advantage of these early bird prices. Also, the abstract data submission deadline has been extended to Friday, August the 14th. Out on the Data Managers Meeting website, there is a button here to submit an abstract. So please be sure to go out to our AQO website and look for all information regarding upcoming AQO. If you have a QI project that you have initiated within your program, we would love for you to share with us and your colleagues. So please consider submitting an abstract for this year's AQO. We would love to learn more from you. And again, please be sure to visit our AQO webpage for all things AQO. I don't know if Carol or someone from the STS team could put in the link to the AQO website in the chat box. I'll try and navigate out there as well. Here out on the STS website for the AQO webpage, you'll find information on AQO overall objectives, our preliminary program, the link to registration, link to abstract submission. We will also be partnering with Core Excel to offer nursing CEs and perfusion CEUs. The number of available CEs and instructions for claiming credit, again, will be shared closer to the event. And for our virtual platform, we will be offering both on-demand and live sessions, and there will be opportunities to ask questions through a Q&A function. If you have any questions regarding AQO, please feel free to contact Emily Conrad. She can be reached at econrad@sts.org with any questions regarding AQO. All right, next I'm going to turn things over to Joe Brower and Melanie for our QB update.
Great, thank you. So we're going to start off with some upcoming fixes that will be released in September. So the first thing here is STS 3356, the missing variable report displaying the 365-day mortality status variable incorrectly. So what we're doing is we're fixing that so that the 1-year logic will be applied correctly, so that cases that are missing it are counted correctly and cases that aren't missing it are not counted. So that will be updated in the September release. Next is STS 3389. So this, and I think all of these we have discussed as ongoing issues or issues under review in the previous call. So you may be familiar with these, but for this one, the MVR is showing that the chromosomal abnormality other specify field is missing, even when you enter a value for the genes with identified abnormality field. While the chromosomal abnormality other box is truly blank, it shouldn't be counted against you because the genes information should satisfy that requirement for version 3.41. And so that update will be coming in September as well. And then finally, the dashboard, we're going to update the logic to exclude cases in the missing percent calculation for the operative mortality variable if the patient is still in the hospital. Okay, and next we have issues under review. And so for the dashboard report and for the harvest summary report, I think this is on the next slide, Leanne.
Oh, sorry, Jeff.
Thank you. That's okay. So for this one, the dashboard and the harvest summary, we have resolved an issue STS 3166 where the anesthesia adverse event is coming up even when the anesthesiologist present is set to no. So that has been fixed for the dashboard report and the harvest summary report, but we are aware that there is still an issue here for the missing variable report, and that is still being worked on. The next section is, the next item is STS 3249. This has been reopened and is currently under active review. It's something that should have been fixed in in one of our recent releases, but even though we did fix it, for some reason it's not being posted to the system properly, and so we're looking into why that fix hasn't gone through as we would have expected it to. And so that should be resolved as soon as we can figure out what's causing that delay in updating the system. Next is STS 3641. For this one, the op type section of the dashboard report is not appearing as expected. So we are looking into that and looking into fixing that so that the op type section does come up appropriately for you in that report. STS 3499. For this, the uploader it's triggering critical errors, stating that the primary diagnosis indicator is required, even though the user's DAT file does contain that information. So that isn't something that's affecting all sites, but you may encounter this issue where you have correctly specified primary diagnosis indicator, but a critical error is coming up for that anyway. And so that is something that we're looking into. Next, STS 3527. The uploader is showing critical error. So this was an issue from an individual user. She has a single record, I believe. Nope, this was, sorry, my apologies. So this is a situation where the user had uploaded and the uploader seems to be reflecting an incorrect number of records processed following the submission. So records that had not been updated were not skipped as expected. And so we're looking in to learn more about what happened there. Again, we're not aware of any widespread issues concerning this feature. It's just that we do have a report from a single user where there was a situation, and we are looking into that. STS 3560, the surgeon name displaying as missing, but information is listed on the case. So this is another one that's not impacting everybody. We just have reports of a few entries in the system that for some reason are causing the missing variable report to say that the surgeon name is missing, even when the case form does have that populated. So we're looking into that. Next, STS 3565. So this one, there were some fields, CPBTM and some other elements have been identified as not showing up in the MVR, even though they are truly missing the entries. And so we're looking into why those are not being captured properly on the missing variable report. STS 3523, we had a user report an error where the system's saying for one record in particular that the intubation date and time provided cannot be later than the current date, even though it does seem that that date and time provided should be correct. So again, this is another one that's not impacting everybody. It was an isolated incident where we have a single record in particular that's causing a problem there. But just so that you're aware of it, that if you do happen to encounter that same issue, please let us know. But it is something that we are investigating. STS 3407. So for this one, MVR is showing the fourth model number as missing for the valve explant, even though the user had indicated that there was not a fourth explant. And so that one we are looking into as well. And finally, STS 3225. The autologous transfusion appears to be coming up as missing for records, even though it is present on the form. And that's another one that we are continuing to look into. So we hope to have a fix for that one soon. All right, and for the next slide, I'm going to turn things over to Melanie Bent.
Thanks, Joe, and hello, everyone. And just to also give an update on those items that are currently under review that Joe just updated everyone on, we will have more information in regards to timing around those. We do have another call that's scheduled with you all next week, so we should have more details then. But of course, if we have any updates specific to any items that we need to get back to those individual users that were impacted, of course, we will be reaching out and giving you the latest update regarding that. So in regards to upcoming enhancements, so in September, we will have some enhancements that also will be applied to the system. The first one is specific to the MBR and dashboard reports. So this these reports, of course, are already available, but we needed to do a tweak. And this is based on some feedback that we received from users. So we are going in and making sure that we are able to update the label of premature birth for both reports, and also add some details in regards to premature birth, neonates, and infants. So this would at least give insight in regards to that the information or the values that are returning the results are specific to neonates and infants. So this was causing a little bit of confusion, and we just wanted to make sure that that was clear. The other enhancements that will happen in September are new reports. We have heard, of course, the feedback from you all in regards to making sure that you're able to review case eligibility for inclusion in mortality, the mortality analysis. So that will be a brand new report that will be available. We will be able to provide the information on cases that do not meet the criteria, the thresholds that have been identified within that report. The next report is going to be the primary procedure mismatch, is what it's currently called, but previously in the the PDF DQR, it was referenced as primary procedure determination. So we will have a new report that will allow you to see the comparison of what was selected within the case as the primary procedure and what is the recommended primary procedure that the database calculates. And it will give you that information, and also you'll be able to see everything in regards to the record ID and just the details that you would need to understand which patients and of course which operations are encountering those mismatches. So we will have more information and also be able to share screenshots. I didn't have any screenshots for today's call, but we'll be able to share that soon. So we'll be able to walk through that. And then of course, we'll be providing an overview and also documentation related to those reports. So this slide here is just basically letting you know, of course, the future reports that are targeted. So we will soon be able to put check marks next to the case eligibility and primary procedure. Once those are done, of course, once we close the harvest in October, that data then has to be processed and sent over to DCRI for analysis, and then they will send back the risk analyzed data. And at that time, we'll be able to present the information in a new dashboard, which would be the risk adjusted dashboard. So that again is will be upcoming as a future report. Okay, so I think this may be the last slide before we get to, yep, the support plan. So Leanne, I'll turn it back over to you.
Yep. Great, thanks, Melanie. And these last the last several slides, you guys have all seen these before. Just going to run through these quickly so we can get to your questions. The IPBS support plan, you all are aware, we have our phone and tech support. Once you initially call IPBS support, you will be connected with Tier 1. Tier 1 will be able to address your initial concern and log a ticket for you to address your concerns. Once your ticket is logged, you will be routed to either Tier 2 for additional support or to STS for support based upon your question. And as you are all well aware, if there's an issue that needs to be addressed directly with your vendor, ideally, participants are able to work directly with their vendors, but in some circumstances, it's necessary for Tier 2 for the data warehouse to follow up with the vendor, or also if STS receives questions related to data analyses, we will route those questions to DCRI, work with DCRI to get a response for you, and then STS would respond to your data analysis question accordingly. Our list of resources here, we have our STS National Database webpage. We have our STS Tech Support at IQVIA for all questions regarding harvest information, data quality report questions, MVR questions, dashboard, password login. Please follow up with STS Tech Support at IQVIA. There's the phone support number if you would rather talk to a live person. For STS National Database feedback form is also located out on the STS website. Please, if you have any, share any requests on future enhancements to the IQVIA platform, please use this feedback form to let us know things you like, things you don't like, things you would like to see added to the dashboard, to any reports. Again, please use this feedback form so we can get this added to our list of enhancements for the CHSD platform. Also, out on the webpage, you'll find your resource documents, contact information, webinar info, FAQs, support, training videos, as well as a link to IQVIA. And also, just FYI, Carol has put a link to that feedback form in the chat box, so you can access that via that link as well. Here is my contact information. I'm sure most of you have this already. My direct email is ljones@sts.org. My direct line is 312-202-5822. If you have any database operational questions, please feel free to reach out to us at stsdb@sts.org. These questions would pertain to your participation agreements, any type of billing questions, participant contact updates, you need to change information on contacts, please reach out to us at stsdb@sts.org if you have any of those types of questions. We are happy to help. Our next slide, our next congenital database webinars we have coming up. Again, please note the new dates and times for these webinars. We did move from Fridays to Tuesdays. Our next monthly webinar is scheduled for August 18th at 12 o'clock Central. Our next user group call is scheduled for August 25th at 12 p.m. Central. And we do have our new data manager webinar scheduled for August 27th at 11 a.m. Central. The new data manager webinars will be held quarterly, and they will be beneficial again for our new data managers, or perhaps some data managers that are still fairly new within your role. We'll be discussing how to access resources, how to use your software specs, data specs, the training manual, how to submit clinical questions. We'll go through understanding the DCF, as well as cover a lot of numerous other topics. So again, please, for the new data managers, please be sure to join us on August 27th at 11 a.m. Central. That's all that I have for today. We will turn things over to you all for our Q&A. Again, please submit your questions via the Q&A function. We'll get through as many questions as we can. And please know that we do encourage your feedback, and we do want to hear from you. So if the team is ready, I think we can go ahead and start tackling our questions. All right. Let's see here. Our first question, our next report, will it be all of 2019? Our next report our only analysis this year will cover data from 7/1/2016 through June 30th of 2020. Our next question, the other question, let's see, we had a question regarding U.S. News and World Report. How will these delayed harvests and likely delayed reporting periods affect our submissions to U.S. News? Has the STS communicated the current challenges to U.S. News? U.S. News is aware of the 2020 harvest plan, so they are aware of the reporting period and the current harvest schedule and the STS plan for the 2020 harvest. Our next question, have there been any bills that we need to look out for congenital payments? I don't know, Jane, did you want to take do you have anything to add in regards to the payment question, billing question?
Surely, and yes, thank you. We did send out invoices for just general participation fees to the congenital community. The per record invoices have not been sent. As you know, until we have a harvest close, we won't be able to send those, but definitely we'll keep everybody updated on those as we approach the harvest deadline.
Great, thank you, Jane. Our next question, when will we see when we should have chosen a combo procedure? So Kelly, this is on a list of enhancements for IQVIA, so STS, so we do have this report request on our list, so we will be discussing that with IQVIA to get this built into the platform. I know this was a table that was included in the past DCRI report, data quality report, but again, we are working to get this added to the future data quality reports and reporting. I don't have a date yet, but we do have it on the list, and it will be coming soon. Our next question, will we have the option to print a Harvest report in same format as previous Harvest reports? For example, Table 16 is used for U.S. News.
This is Jeanette from IQVIA. So printing the Harvest report is definitely on our radar. There will be some adjustments and different approaches with regards to the reports overall in light of some of the feedback that we've gotten from some really great contributors within the community. So we'll definitely look to incorporate as much of that and improve ease of use overall, but also have printing certainly on our radar because we know that's utilized in a variety of different ways.
Thank you, Jeanette. Our next question, it's time consuming to the data manager community to submit, resubmit, review our DQRs when IQVIA is making updates and revisions to the software. What is the benefit to the data managers to continue to submit when all of the IQVIA updates have not been implemented?
This is Jeanette from IQVIA. So in general, we've gotten a lot of really positive feedback that the system is available, that in many instances it's meeting expectations, and that the data is flowing in. We certainly do have some edge cases that we've gotten feedback on and are definitely working through those issues. And we definitely understand that some of the additional ways to view the data, some new reports that we're working on creating, that's definitely valuable for you as a user community to be able to see all of that. But at this time, we do recommend that you are using the system. We welcome your feedback as you're working through it. And we know that STS has also been communicating timeline information for the harvest, and we definitely encourage you to move towards those dates that are recommended by STS for completion of submissions, as they're sharing all those details out.
Thank you, Jeanette. Our next question, has the index procedure crossover issue been corrected? And Melanie, I think.
This is Melanie.
That,
Yes,
yeah.
and that actually is STS 3131, and yes, it was resolved in our release, which was the 1.20 release, which I believe happened on August the 1st. So that is currently available, so take a look. I believe that was on the dashboard in regards to the crossover not working, so you should be able to go ahead and review that.
Thank you, Melanie. Our next question is, adding op type as a column in the DQR table is still on the enhancement list. I do know you have the ability to filter in the DQR based on op type. You have op types 1 and 2, as those are the 2 op types included in the report.
Yeah. I know exactly what, hi Dawn, I know exactly what she's, yes, it's on the list, Dawn. And we'll provide more information when we're able to update the report. So on the DQR, she's asking for a specific column, an op type column that shows the assignment for each of the cases.
Gotcha, thank you. Our next question, who do we contact regarding payments received? And Nancy, you can contact us at stsdb@sts.org for any payment-related questions, and we can assist. Our next question, when in September will we see the updates? The deadline is mid-October. The deadline for submissions is mid-October.
Yep, and I meant to add the date. September the 12th is the target date. So that is, again, a weekend. It's September the 12th.
Thank you, Melanie. Let's see here. I don't see any other questions. I'll hang on here, give everyone the opportunity to get any additional questions logged. Did anyone have anything they wanted to cover that I may have overlooked, or anything they wanted to add while we waited for any additional questions to roll in? So quiet today. Everyone's very quiet. Let's see here. Okay, I have some more quick questions. Is September 12th the target date for the 2 new reports?
Sorry, it was breaking up. Sorry.
Oh, Yeah, September 12th is the target date for the primary procedure and the mortality eligibility reports.
Yep, that's the target. And again, I'll have more in regards to, so the next session that we have scheduled, which I believe is next week, Tuesday, we have another session. I'll be able to share through those 2 new reports, so we can at least get some information in front of you to get prepared for when we do release those reports.
Great. Thank you, Melanie. Let's see here. I do not see any additional questions come in. Gonna wait just a few minutes. While I am waiting, if anyone had any questions about how to locate the AQO information out on the STS website, I've got the website pulled up on the screen. I can navigate out there for you and just show you rather quickly. If you go to our STS meetings and click on the meetings button up in the blue bar, and then click on calendar of events, and you will see the list of calendar events, the list of events here. Just click on the advances and quality and outcomes of data managers meeting. Excuse me. And this will bring up the AQO webpage, and here you can find all of the information regarding AQO. Here is Friday, October the 2nd, the congenital heart surgery database session. You can preview the meeting schedule. Your registration form is here, preliminary program, the abstract submission deadline, CE information, as well as pricing, and then a link to register here at the bottom. And again, if you have any questions regarding registration, you can contact Amy, our senior coordinator for meetings and conventions. And for any questions regarding the program or abstract submission, please contact Emily Conrad, and she will be happy to answer any of your questions. Let's see. Our next question, where can we locate the new data manager webinar when it's available? So yes, absolutely. So once we have the new data manager webinar, it will be recorded, and I believe it will be posted. So navigate here out on the STS webpage. If you go to our STS National Database page, and you scroll down to live webinars, if you click on the View Webinars link and scroll down to the CHSD, and click on past, I'm sorry, let me go up and click on the past CHSD webinars, and the new data manager webinar will be posted here. Once the new data manager webinars are out here for a little bit, they will eventually be moved over to our YouTube playlist. So if you don't see it here, click on our YouTube playlist, and all of our webinars are posted out there on YouTube as well. All right, I'll wait. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see here. Is there an answer to Heidi's questions at 1 o'clock? Let's see, the question from Heidi that came in earlier. Yes, it says, after discussing current harvest issues, much of the community wants to know if it's possible to receive routine updates about how many tickets have been submitted and how many processed. We've voiced concerns about multiple tiers of support. Maybe a platform with ticket numbers representing the status could be developed. And yes, we are, STS and IQVIA are talking, about our support plan and if there's ways we can improve. And again, Carol did provide a link out in the chat box as well as the STS feedback form for any of you. If you guys have any ideas, if some things aren't working for you, have any comments or suggestions, please use that feedback form and send us that information. Also, I know I've spoken with several of you, and please feel free to reach out to me directly with your questions and concerns. We're here to work together to make this, I know this has been a difficult transition and bumpy transition, but we're all trying to get through this together and make it as seamless as possible. So we are working together. We're working, we're here to hear from you, to listen. So please feel free to reach out to us or to express your concerns.
Hey,
I don't know,
Leanne,
Carol, did you have anything you wanted to add?
I do want to add something. So it's really helpful if we can all, I appreciate Heidi's comment, and hopefully our response was helpful. We are doing a phased rollout, which we've been talking about since October with the data manager community, and things happen in steps. So we provide a certain platform and we get the data in, and then we make enhancements to that platform so it's more user friendly, and it's going to be ever evolving. So we won't, I don't believe that there will ever be a time where we are satisfied with what we have. We're always going to be wanting to make it better for the data manager community and for the surgeons. Regarding the issue of the tiered level of support or the platform with ticket numbers, IQVIA does post out the current issues on within your access to the platform. I believe it's under resources. Melanie or Jeanette, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that's where the current list is posted out.
Notifications, and I'm going to check. Yep, I'm going to do a double check to make sure we have the latest and the greatest out there, but that's where you would check for issues, and we'll make sure everything that you see within the PowerPoint, we will have those listed out there for your reference also.
Yeah, and we're sharing those with vendors as well. I'm not sure if that has started yet, or if, how that's working out yet, but I know that that's in the pipeline to make sure we're sharing all of those updates with the vendors as well. But it's helpful to have, to have critical but helpful feedback, and that's why we provide the link for the form. As we get your feedback in, if it's not a current functionality issue with the platform, we still want to hear about it, because we talk about it amongst us and amongst our some of our key core group members about potential updates, what's going to be helpful to the whole, congenital database community. And we have had meetings with the core group on some of these key issues, and that's kind of where the base of the platform comes from. And then as we get more ideas from you all, we're able to talk more about that and make sure that we're able to provide those enhancements after we get through phase 3. And right now we're just at phase 2. We still have to get get all the data in, and then we have to have a bidirectional data exchange with DCRI, get that data back, displayed in the benchmark dashboards. So once we get through all of that, then, some of these other enhancements that'll help you do your job better will be coming. Because you submit a ticket and it's 2 weeks and you don't see a change on the dashboard, it doesn't mean that we're not changing it, or that we're not thinking, or we're not talking about it with IQVIA, or that, something's wrong, that we're not getting to all these issues. We certainly are aware, and we appreciate the feedback, and we want to hear it, but we have to also, keep on track with some of the other high priority items to make sure that the database is accepting in data correctly and displaying it correctly for what we have right now. So I don't know if that's helpful or not. And Melanie and Jeanette, I don't know if you have anything to add into that, but I don't like hearing that we're not providing good support or that we're not communicating out well, because I think we're doing a pretty good job, and we are here to help you, and we can't help you if we don't hear from you. So if you're all talking amongst yourselves and not sharing your feedback with us in a constructive way, then we can't really provide that, that solution to you either now, or give you a time frame for when we'll be discussing more in detail. But Jeanette or Melanie, did you have anything to add to that?
I think that's a great point, Carol. Thank you for calling that out. And I know, we definitely value getting the feedback from the user community, and we understand that there's a lot of potential and opportunities for improvements, but there's also a lot of different opinions about what's the best next step. So we definitely work collaboratively with STS, welcome the input from the community, but are also being conscious of, strategic directions for the program, and making sure that we're considering future options and improvements along the way. And we know that something may be super important to one user, but there may be something that's maybe got a broader impact that ends up sort of bubbling to the top. So we definitely are working through that. And as Carol mentioned, this was always planned to be a bit of an iterative approach, and we totally agree that we'll be continuing to make adjustments and improvements to the platform, inclusive of your feedback, considering your feedback, and we certainly look forward to hearing from all of you, both the positive feedback as well as the areas to improve.
Yeah, thanks, Jeanette. And I know Leslie's on one of the core group members that we have worked with, and I don't mean to put you on the spot, but if you wanted to provide any feedback about how we've been trying to be collaborative with the data manager community. You're welcome to share that as well. But I don't want to put you on the spot, but feel free.
That's okay, Carol. I appreciate it. I wanted to mention that we have been testing this since, I think, February. And, you know, sometimes up to weekly calls. There's been in-person meetings going through a lot of the things that just we were seeing. So although it's frustrating to kind of be all of us as a community being the testers for this, it really is the only way it's going to get done, because as much testing as, you know, individuals can do through kind of the early or late winter and spring, there's obviously still a lot of things that are out there to be fixed. Not, you know, one site can't find all of the errors. So it really is a collaborative effort. And I've found that this has worked so much better than things in the past, even with new version upgrades. This is huge, and it's been huge for every database, but we all know that congenital is so unique. So it just really can't be done without 100 users doing this. But for me, I get emails from other users as well asking questions, and I try to do the same thing and just direct them back, because like Carol and Jeanette and others have mentioned, if it's not brought to the group's attention, it really can't get on the list. So it doesn't do much good if we're all just exchanging email. So I appreciate the people that are sending in their questions and reaching out and then being on these calls to give feedback as well.
Thank you so much, Leslie. That's really helpful.
Absolutely. Thank you. Very true. Thank you, Leslie. All right. Okay, let's see here. We've got about 15 more minutes. I'm not seeing any additional questions come in, but I just wanted to thank my team, my IQVIA team, and my STS team for supporting me on the call today and helping us get through all these questions. I appreciate you guys very much. And also thank you to all of our data managers who continue to, you know, to email us with questions and feedback, and good and bad. We appreciate your comments. We're here to listen to you and take in that feedback, and we're all here to work through this transition and make this platform better and better every day. So again, thank you all for your time today. I appreciate it. Since I'm not seeing any other questions come in, I think we'll go ahead and end today's call. And again, if anyone has anything they'd like to reach out to me, you can reach me directly. Feel free to email or give me a call. So with that, we hope to see you next week. Let me see here. Let me pull up our next webinars. Let's see here. Go through that real quick. Our next webinars are scheduled for, let me see, pull up the right slide. August 18th at 12 for our monthly, our August 25th for our next user group call, and August 27th for our new data manager call. I hope you guys are able to join us, and I hope you all have a great day. Thank you, everyone, for joining today. I appreciate it.
Awesome job. Thanks, Leanne.
Thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone, for joining.